Like much of what humans take for granted, we often don't appreciate the value of clean water until it is threatened, scarce, or non-existent. The Water Joint Programming Initiative was launched by the European Council. Its aim is to pool national research efforts to create sustainable water systems. In a bid to combat new threats facing European water bodies, Water JPI is focusing on emerging pollutants such as medical residues, antibiotics and microplastics. Substances that traditional water treatment systems cannot address. Many of them end up in catchment areas and eventually in the sea. They may also threaten our drinking water.
Unfortunately, we don't have a sort of proper understanding on the impacts of these chemicals and these components for natural processes.
The Water JPI provides a forum for member states to coordinate national research initiatives that serve a common goal. European scientists can work together to tackle problems that no member state could address alone. The second Water JPI conference held in Helsinki in 2018 considered the issue of emerging pollutants.
But since the last 8 years, for example, we are working with different instruments on emerging contaminants. We did call for scientists for research project, but we did also knowledge hub. It's to bring all the best experts from EU countries working together.
Humans are increasingly releasing antibiotic residues through wastewater into our waterways. Bacteria that exist in the environment and that are harmful for humans gradually become resistant to antibiotics. The result is antibiotic-resistant pathogens that we have no tools to combat.
The ultimate harm is that if you get infected with multi-resistant bacteria, it cannot be treated and then you will die. That's the worst case scenario. And that's in fact happening already. It's happening even in countries like Finland.
Another challenge is to detect emerging pollutants as they appear. Continuous monitoring could, in future, help ensure safe water quality. In a Dublin-based project, scientists have been able to apply such methods to traditional pollutants, like bacteria. Officials can now conduct ongoing spot tests to determine the level of contamination at a popular swimming spot.
We have a sensor developed that can give a response in 75 minutes. So each morning you can measure the levels of E. coli in the water, have a response that morning, relay that response on some electronic screen so that people can see that day what the water quality is like for that day. The current approach is a sample is taken and 2 days later you get a result. So at that point people already have become ill if the water is contaminated.
Compared to traditional pollutants like nitrogen and phosphorus, emerging pollutants are being created every day, so different solutions may apply to them.
I would like to see, some practical measures, not like analyzing each one of those millions of contaminants, but like applying bioassays that they really are able to give us information on what is toxic, what is mutagenic, to which level of life.
But while detection and analysis are important, rigid measures need to be taken by EU legislators to deal with emerging pollutants.
We have to convey clear messages, quantify information as much as possible, showcase examples where we can see clearly negative impacts.
European water policy dates back to the year 2000. It sets limits on member states for releasing common pollutants. But the nearly 20-year-old policy has not kept pace with emerging pollutants.
These are not taken into account in our policy framework, and we will have to review it in the future.
The United Nations has set up 17 Sustainable Development Goals for its member states to achieve by 2030. Clean water is an element of almost all of them.
Our role is to make available the existing scientific knowledge and information to policymakers so that they can develop and implement appropriate policy solutions to address these issues, and specifically in the context of the achieving Sustainable Development Goals for 2030.
The Water JPI has a strong mission to coordinate water research and to bring together talented scientists in the European research area to cooperate for a common goal.